Today is December 31st, 2019, and I am 8,209 days old. Not a single one of you texted me congratulations. Ever since my 6,000th day on Earth, I tend to like to think about my life in terms of days alive rather than in terms of years. You get to have a birthday every time the Earth goes around the sun, every 365 days, but you only get to have a 1,000th day every 1,000 days. The artificialness of me totally making that up, but me also feeling on those days like it was a larger milestone, has always been something that I really connected with. When you start thinking about life in terms of thousands, it gains you some perspective. To me, high school feels forever ago, but it was really only 2,000s ago that I was there. I still remember my 7,000th day and my 6,000th day. And zooming out at scale tends to give us a lot of perspective as to where we're going and what we've been doing and how we should feel. I think this is why so many of us are both freaked out and incredibly excited for the new decade. One of the reasons that I love New Year's is because it doesn't, strictly speaking, mean anything. As humans, we kind of picked this one spot of the Earth going around the sun and decided that this is the day, that is the new year, and everybody around the world celebrates the same thing all together for something that we kind of just decided. I love New Year's because we're all celebrating getting a new start, a fresh start, even though it's just the next day. The only thing that's really different about tomorrow is the mindset that me and you and everybody else is going to have, that it's a new day and it's a fresh start and it's a fresh chance for us to do all of the things that we want to do. I'll admit that even though I tend to talk a big game about loving New Year's and loving that challenge of making the next year great, I'm pretty overwhelmed and pretty nervous because I feel the weight of this being the end of the decade and having no idea where the next decade is going to end up. Next year, I'm graduating from my master's program, and for the first time, I'm going to be out figuring out what I want to do in the world. I am incredibly excited for all of the projects that I have lined up for 2020. I have so many things that I want to do and so many things that I'm excited about, but I can't begin to understand what the end of this decade is going to look like, because I don't know what the end of next year is going to look like. 2009, just like 2019, was an incredible year for change for me. I say incredible not because it was all good things, but because it was all big things. That was the year that my parents told me they were going to get divorced. And then the next year, 2010, was the first year that I had two houses and that I had a mom living one place and a dad living in a different place. 2009 was also the year that I was studying really hard for my bar mitzvah, which took place in October of 2010. I don't think that in 2009 I felt the weight of how big of a transitional year that was going to be like I do now. But if anything, I think that's what zooming out and looking at a decade of perspective gives you. I had a lot of fears when I was a kid, and I don't remember much from the 2009-2010 era, but I do remember being really scared for all of those changes. But the fear that I had then kind of gives me hope for the fear that I have now, because I had no idea what the 2010s would bring when I was sitting there on December 31st really scared for them. I like to think that now I'm better at facing those fears and knowing that I will be able to achieve them. And the reason for that is all of the things that I did and all of the people that I met in the 2010s. Right now, I'm in DC visiting friends who I met doing things that I couldn't have imagined that I would have done in 2009. I have no idea what's going to happen in the next year, and I have no idea what's going to happen in the next decade. But looking at the past decade, it seems more manageable. Just like 2009, it's been a year of transition, and I absolutely cannot wait to see where that transition brings me. Okay, time to go edit this video and time to, you know, actually celebrate New Year's. Okay, long story short, the people that I was planning to spend New Year's with tonight had to cancel, and then other people that I was spending New Year's with tonight also had to cancel, and I was gonna spend New Year's alone, sitting in a room watching the ball drop. So instead, I'm driving all the way to Maryland with a car that I just rented on an app that I just signed up for to hang out with my friend.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
acquaintance be
Nice coat.
forgot
Thank you.
for old lang syne?